G'day, it's Rob here again. Well, if you've got one of these, or one of these, or even one of these, you're going to need something to go in the unit, some fittings. And as you can see, I use cut-off discs. I use little sanding drums, and I also use burrs, carbide burrs and diamond burrs. And that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to look at carbide burrs. These things spin pretty fast, you know, 25 to 30,000 RPM, all of them. And yeah, burrs are good for that sort of speed. And they come in a range of sizes. And I'll show you the sizes that I've got, that I've used, and also the new ones, which are a bit different. Right, these are the sort of burrs that you would normally use in those pencil die grinders or your Dremels. They're a 3mm shank, and they come in carbide like this, or they come in diamond coated like this. And they're both pretty cheap sets. They're not very expensive to buy. 3mm. Now when you use these, of course, as they're only small diameter, but they've spin at 30,000 RPM. I mean, all burrs are good for at least 30,000 RPM regardless of size. Now, they're different to grind stones, which of course the diameter is the determining factor of the speed. But on burrs, you know, you're pretty safe up to about 30,000 RPM on most of them. There are speed ratings for them. These will go to 90,000 RPM safely, apparently, but of course you're never going to do that. So anyway, yeah, they're the sorts that you'd normally use. And when you grip these, where people go wrong and they break them or bend them is they grip them like they grip a drill. They grip them too far back. They grip them like there. But the manufacturers always recommend, you grip them right up to the head, as close to the cutting area as possible. And that way, if they catch and run around a hole or jump around, which these do, the carbide ones do, a lot more than the diamond ones, if you're gripping it up by the head, you've got a lot less chance of bending or breaking the shank off. So there's something to be aware of. Okay, you got the tool, the grinder close to the job, but that's just what you have to put up with if you want to preserve your burrs. So grip them as close to the head as possible. Okay, so I've had these for years. And the next size up is, bearing in mind that carbide burrs come in a whole range of different head diameters and shank diameters. So these are just slightly under 3mm, and these are slightly over. These are the next size I've got. These are 3.2. And they've got a 6mm head. And that's pretty good. They're pretty strong. They take a bit to bend or break, but it is possible. I broke that one off years ago and I repaired it. So that's the next step up. So as you can go bigger, I was looking on Banggood and I noticed they had a set of 12mm ones. Now I've also got an 8mm one. So that's 8mm with a 6mm shank. And that is the size that you would fit in this type of air die grinder. Or you can put them in any die grinder that's got a chuck on it, like the Hilda, which I showed you earlier, the red one. But of course they won't fit in the pencil grinders, they're way too big. So this is quite handy because it's tough, durable. You can grip them back a fair bit from the head because you know they're going to take a lot to bend or break, whereas the smaller sizes can easily bend or break. And yeah, I bought that for a specific job. Anyway, Banggood have got some 12mm ones. So that's 8mm head. Then they go 10, 12, 14, 16, right up to 20 odd. So let's have a look at the size that Banggood sent me. Can you see that? You can see they're bigger than these. So I'll open up the box and we'll have a look. So here they are, and they look pretty well made. You get 5. And they're the shapes you want, particularly these. The cylinder ones are really the most useful, I find. Some of the other shapes are a bit, you know, a bit ordinary. Depends what sort of work you're doing with them. And yeah, certainly these look very well made. Nice little boxes they come in. Tungsten carbide, and these are what they call double cut. Now you can get single cut, which has got a much coarser cutting pattern, or you can get double cut. If you're working on aluminium, you'd really be better off going for the single cut, because they don't clog anywhere as much as these can clog, unless you use a cutting fluid of some sort, but like, you know, kerosene or WD-40. But yeah, double cut are what most people buy. They're the most commonly used, and they'll do any sort of material, literally anything. You know, they'll do ceramic, wood, metal, soft metal, hard metal, you know, you name it. They're plastic, so it's fiberglass. They're very, very good. So yeah, this is really ideal for most things. Looking at these, you can see the 12mm one. The head is brazed onto the shank. They're all like that. And the 8mm one that I bought previously from another manufacturer, another supplier, the head's also brazed on in that one. That size, 8 and 12 are the same. But when you go to the 6mm head with a 3mm shank, or 3.2 shank, you can see that it's all one piece. And the same with the 3mm one with a 3mm head, that's also one piece. So they make them a little bit differently, but obviously this does the job. Yeah, very nicely put together. Looking at the maximum no load speed for these burrs, recommended by manufacturers, you find that the 3mm or 1/8 inch is recommended maximum of 90,000 RPM. 6mm is 45,000 RPM. A 10mm is 30,000, but that's an 8, and I couldn't find a figure for an 8, so it's probably, you know, 35,000 RPM. And a 12mm, the recommended figure is 22,000 RPM. So it's all well within scope of any of the die grinders that you're likely to buy, whether they be air or electric. Now if you go bigger than 12mm, you should start thinking about slowing down the speed. I mean, this is maximum recommended of 22,000, so the Hilda type die grinders are capable of up to 30,000. So yeah, you might want to just back it off a little bit. But they're the figures that you should be using as a maximum quite safely. Okay, so the next thing is we should try them out and see how good they are. Now, I originally thought these being such a large diameter compared to the ones I had, and not being certain about the surface speed of them, I thought, well, these are probably quite a good size to put in a normal high-speed drill, you know, 3,000 RPM drill. And you could use them, you know, particularly for wood. Got no risk of damaging the burrs, because, believe it or not, with burrs you've got more chance of chipping the teeth at low speed than at high speed. You know, they shake around too much, they get more of a hammering at low speed. They're designed to be used at a high speed. And but for things like wood, plastic, fiberglass, it won't matter. You can use them at any speed basically. So we'll try them in a drill as well, and yeah, I'll try them on steel and I'll try them on a bit of wood, and you can see how well they work. Right, now whenever you use burrs, always, I repeat, always wear eye protection, because these things will spray little slivers of steel swarf out at incredible speeds, and you must have protection. Okay, we'll use the the electric die grinder for this, so it's not too noisy, otherwise you've got the air compressor banging away. And the larger the burrs get, the more they tend to vibrate. You find that you want to keep the speed back purely from a vibration aspect. And also, as this goes at 30,000 RPM, we don't want to go that fast. 22 is the maximum they recommend, so we'll probably go 20. So we'll knock the speed back to, I'd say 4 would be about right. We'll try it on a bit of scrap metal here. Tore through that like nothing. So this is obviously capable of very fast work. That's pretty impressive. We'll try opening up a washer. Once again, no effort at all. Super quick. So yeah, it's a mean machine. Let's try it in a electric drill and see how it goes for the same job. Okay, we'll try it with my old AEG 500 watt drill. This is maximum speed, I think it's 3000 RPM. Let's give it a go. It did it, but you can see what happened straight away. You can see how it was jumping around because the speed is too slow. That's what I said. That's how you chip the burrs, chip the teeth. So this is not really a good move. Not for steel. It might be okay for wood, but for metal, no, I wouldn't recommend this. Okay, let's try it on some pine. This is soft timber. Rough a bit. Full bore. Yep, no problem at all. We'll try a bit of hardwood. Once again, we're on full speed. Slow it down a bit. So you can see it handles wood, no problem whatsoever. We'll try the drill on the wood and see how it goes. It actually works pretty damn well on wood, and that's hardwood, very, very hard wood. It's, yeah, not to be trifled with, banging nails into that stuff. So yeah, for woodwork with a drill, this is quite doable, very good. But no, I wouldn't do it for steel, as I said, because it's going to jump around too much. But yeah, worked well. So yeah, for steel, no problem in the proper tool, the die grinder. And for wood, yeah, ate it up, and it actually did a really good job with the drill. So if you're a woodworker, this is good. These are big enough to be useful if you use them, and there's too small a diameter on wood. It's pretty painful trying to get any progress, but these bigger ones like this just munch it up and yeah, get through it in no time at all. So totally okay for that. So okay, let's check out the specifications. I'll show you some screen grabs now. Okay, well I guess I've got to give these a 10 because they're pretty bloody good. And yeah, they didn't chip even when it was jumping around with the drill, you know, which I did for a little while there. Everything held together okay. And of course, it worked well on the two materials I've tested it on. Should do the job nicely. I can't see anything to fault with them. Pretty good value. So if you're after a set of burrs of this size and you want to do this sort of work with it and get through steel channel and stuff like that pretty damn quick, this bigger size, this 12mm stuff, is really well worth considering. Okay, well look, that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Cheers.